It's time for some more Marvel DC crossovers. Wonder Woman and Captain America, Krypto and Jeff the Landshark, Daredevil and Green Arrow, Rocket Raccoon and the Green Lantern, The Dark Knight with Old Man Logan, and the combination of Lobo and Wolverine. The Gun and the Sword by Chip Zdarsky. A distant European battlefield. The Nazis raise their weapons and prepare to fire at the Amazon, but Diana spins with her sword and shield, slashing and bashing her way through them. Finally, she is victorious and strides towards a nearby bunker. Inside, she finds the other Nazis have already been subdued. Hitler sitting on his knees, cowering in fear, mumbling to the man that stands before him with a pistol aimed at his head. "My superiors told me you were coming," Steve Rogers says as he glances over his shoulder. "The Amazon who turned the tides in the Solomon Islands. The Wonder Woman. They said you're not a soldier, you're a warrior," he tells her, turning his gaze back to the man who plunged the world into war. Diana nods and sheathes her weapon, slowly making her way forward. "A warrior for peace, for justice," she says. Diana glances at Hitler. "My German isn't very strong, but it sounds like he's surrendering," she points out softly. Steve nods but doesn't lower the weapon. "Millions dead, friends, people I love, all because of him. He doesn't deserve the gift of life. One bullet, that'd be all it takes," he growls. Diana reaches for her lasso. "You're no executioner. He's harmed the world. Let the world have the satisfaction of determining his fate," she says as she gently tosses the lasso around Steve's neck. "I've heard a lot of stories about you as well, Captain America. The newsreels showed a man of honor in a world bereft of it, who stands for justice. I saw those stories flicker across a screen in man's world, and I was moved to stay, to join this fight," she says. Steve turns back to look at her. "Do you truly wish to kill this man?" she asks. Steve grits his teeth. "I do," he hisses. Diana nods gently. Then one final question. "Is this right? Is this justice?" she asks. Steve shakes his head and tosses the gun away. "It's not justice. Let the world end this monster together," he finally says. But Hitler refuses to face the world's justice, picking it up and pressing the barrel beneath his chin. The gunshot echoes through the bunker. But Hitler's death was not the end of the war for Steve Rogers. He continued his mission and hunted down Hitler's generals and minions. One of them almost blew up the world, and in the process of stopping the bomb, he was plunged into the icy waters and lost. When he finally awoke, it was Diana that was standing over his bedside. She had become a beacon to the world and fought alongside others: Thor, the Wasp, Superman, and Iron Man. Captain America joined the Avengers and fought alongside her and the other heroes against Galactus when the World Devourer threatened the Earth. They fought together when the crisis arrived, stood in silence when Superman mourned his lost cousin. Steve was there when Diana almost killed Maxwell Lord, but he talked her down from the ledge, just like she did for him all those years ago. They were a constant in each other's lives, sometimes fighting against the very world that they swore to protect. Steve disagreed with the Superhuman Registration Act. Diana stood by him. He eventually met her daughter, Trinity. But now, they stand on the edge of the infinite universes, battling against the end of all things. An Omega beam slams into Steve's chest and launches him away. Diana rushes to his side, her battle armor shining as the other heroes continue to battle around them. And the only thing that makes Steve sad is the universes he's seen where he and Diana never met. Diana leans over Steve and pulls away his mask. "Steve, I'll get you help. You can be saved," she whispers. He smiles up at her. You already saved me, he gasps. He reaches for her lasso and clutches it in his hand. From the time we met, and we've been saving each other ever since. The Infiniverse is crumbling. Diana, you have to defend it. The monster who's destroying it needs to be brought to... Steve whispers as he closes his eyes. Diana nods, and a tear falls down her cheek. Justice, she finishes softly. She reaches down and picks up his shield, the symbol that Steve carried for most of his life. Determination fills her eyes as she turns back to the battle and leads the heroes on a final charge. Catch by Kelly Thompson. The Fortress of Solitude. Krypto leaps up into the air and hits his favorite ball with a gust of super breath. The ball screeches through the air, passing out over the snowy plains, past the mountains, small animals, screeching birds. Finally, it flies over the ocean, but something leaps out of the water and smacks it with his tail. Jeff, the Landshark, lands back in the water and watches the ball sail away. He notes. Krypto suddenly lets out a bark of joy to have met a new friend, and he flies back, kicking the ball again. The two find a net at an old sunken fishing trawler and begin to hit the ball back and forth, letting out happy barks and murrs. But their game is suddenly ended when an arrow hits the ball. Jeff looks up at the note that is tied to the arrow that orders him to come home. Krypto suddenly turns at the sound of a super whistle.
Krypto! Come home, boy! Dinner!
Kara shouts. The two animals look at each other, high five, and turn back to head home. Krypto calls to his new friend. Jeff shouts as he leaps back into the water. The Red and the Green by Kevin Smith. Hell's Kitchen. We find Daredevil on a rooftop, whirling amongst a group of assassins from the League of Shadows. He twirls on them, kicking and smacking them with his billy clubs. Nearby, Green Arrow turns and fires an arrow into the hand ninjas that are chasing him. He hates Hell's Kitchen. Daredevil turns and leaps off his rooftop. Green Arrow turns and leaps off his rooftop. Both heroes fire their grapple lines and swing down to the streets. They whirl and stand before each other. Oliver readies an arrow. Matt drops into a combat stance. Hawkeye? Daredevil asks. Do I look like I'm from Iowa, you cow tipper? Green Arrow asks with a raised eyebrow. But both heroes turn as their various pursuers begin to surround them. Oliver whirls and blocks a throwing star with his bow. Well, you dress like a bad guy, but I know how you New Yorkers love your irony. So I'm gonna guess you're on the side of the angels, devil dog. Ollie says with a smirk. Daredevil smiles and spins to block another throwing star with his billy club. And the Renaissance Fair's not in the Battery Park till next month. So I'm guessing you're a good guy, Friar Tuck. He says as he spins and kicks at two assassins. Green Arrow whirls and beats a ninja across the head with his bow and introduces himself. The two twirl amongst each other, trading blows and villains as they whirl, kick, and punch. But one of the hand leaps in and kicks Green Arrow hard, knocking him into a nearby door. Daredevil turns to help his new friend, but his senses are suddenly going haywire. He clutches at his head as pain begins to burn through him.
Something shattering my senses,
he gasps. Dizziness and nausea overwhelm Matt as he struggles to stand. He looks around, unaware that Count Vertigo stands over him. Something and someone known as Count Vertigo, and today I am an angel, sending a demon back to hell. Vertigo says as he raises a pistol at Matt's head, preparing to fire. But a boxing glove arrow suddenly flies through the air and punches him in the side of the face, bringing him down and breaking the inner ear tech that gives him his power. Green Arrow walks forward and helps Daredevil to stand. Sorry I left you stranded, Satan. I had to improvise a non-lethal way to kill Vertigo's annoying tech. So, while you were down for the count, I quick built this oldie but goodie in the gym back there, Green Arrow says as he motions to Fogwell's gym behind them. Daredevil smiles and suggests that they head to Josie's bar nearby. We're gonna trade secret origin stories, aren't we? Matt asks. Oliver smiles. Hell yes! I want to hear all about what got you into the hero biz, kid, he says. Behind them, the police have begun to arrest the assassins, ninjas, and Count. No one noticing the boxing glove arrow, which reads Jack Murdoch on the side. Rocket has a Green Lantern ring now, by Al Ewing. The Guardians of the Universe have agreed to a cultural exchange program. They stand before the Guardians of the Galaxy, agreeing to give them one of their power rings to one of the most experienced members of the team, Rocket Raccoon. Charmed, Rocket says with a grin. Hal smiles and steps forward, handing over his loner ring. It's all yours, friend. Just remember to keep it charged, Hal tells him. Rocket nods. Right. The oath bit. Brightest day, blackest night, yada yada. Green flame on! Rocket says as he suddenly becomes a Green Lantern. Day 1. The Owens aren't happy. You shot Sinestro in the face? One of them asks as Rocket stands over the villain with a smoking gun. Yeah! Should I not do that? He asks. Day 2. They find him gambling in an intergalactic casino with Green Arrow. You're betting your ring at a casino? A Guardian asks. Rocket nods. We're, searching for the soul of America. Classic GL stuff. Rocket shouts. A moral cancer is killing our souls, man. Green Arrow snaps. But soon, the Guardian realizes that Rocket and Green Arrow are actually stealing from the casino. It's a mob casino. We're robbing from the rich and giving to the poor. Arrow shouts as they run away with the money. We are? I didn't agree to that, Rocket yells. By day 3, the Guardians still are not happy and put a call to the Guardians of the Galaxy. Can you come pick your friend up? The Guardians ask. Nova nods in agreement. Sure, if you pick your guy up, he snaps as a ball of fire explodes behind him. Turns out us recruiting a rebel super cop who's a magnet for cosmic hand jewelry was a bad idea. And hey, while I've got you, what's a parallax? Nova asks. Behind him, Hal Jordan stands over the fallen Thanos while wearing the Infinity Gauntlet. Beware my power, Jordan screams. Showdown by Frank Miller. In an alley, somewhere deep in Gotham City, Old Man Logan rushes at Dark Knight Batman. Get out of my way, Logan growls. Batman rushes right back at him. Get out of my town, Batman growls. The two slam into each other, exchanging blows and insults. They both pull apart, bloodied. You ought to be sitting in some ward doing macrame while drooling on yourself, Batman growls. You'll be the one living off needles. Forget about crime and vengeance and all that stuff. You should be caring about getting your diaper changed, Logan snaps. But Batman smiles and motions to Logan's waist. Left you a string of Christmas presents down there, boy. Wrap them special just for you, he growls. Logan looks down in shock just as he explodes. The smoke clears and Logan is on the ground, his healing factor slowly stitching his body back together. Batman stands over his smoking body. Ready to call it a day, Fido? Ready to run home and lick your wounds? He asks. Logan nods. Sure, bub, and you come visit anytime you get the itch. I'll show you a time, he growls. Enter Logo by Ryan North. The clawed chains rip through Coltron's head as he falls to the ground. Who are you? It asks as it falls. I'll tell you again, bub. The name's Logo. I'm the last of the Canucklesians, the main mutie, and I'm the biggest, baddest bub stitch in the whole fraggin' universe. Logo says with a smile as his claw chains retract back into his fist. He begins to walk back to his space bike as the bartender tells him that Coltron will be back. He rebuilds himself. Always does, he tells him. Ha! I'm counting on it. Got me a bounty that pays every time I kill the gizzard. Best part of living machines. I can kill, rend, destroy, frag, and whatever else I want to him over and over again. And tell you what, another one shows up, you just tell him I'm the best at what I do. Logo says as he hops on his bike and rides away. But just for fun before leaving, he shoots his claw chains at the nearby vehicle, destroying it. The other bar patron turns at the explosion.
Was that my Thanoside copter?
Thanoside says with disdain. Logo continues to ride off into space. And tell that super soldier that when he hears the engines of Weapon XXX here roaring, it means I'm coming for him, he says as he moves on to his next bounty. And those were the backups from Marvel and DC Deadpool Batman issue 1. I know it's been a while since that comic came out and I've really been wanting to get this on the channel, so I'm glad I finally got to do it. So let me know down below which of these short stories was your favorite. Personally, I really liked the Logo one, even though it was the shortest, and I really hope they continue that. But anyway, let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and like and subscribe to help out the channel. I'm Dan with Comicstorian, and we will see you next time. Rest in peace, Benny.